Good morning, everybody. I just want to do a quick video today, since I've been very busy, and I'm going to be busy a long time this week, and I'm betting the interview I have scheduled tomorrow is a waste time interview. Like, they're not really going to do an interview, but you know, I apologize if I'm wrong, but we'll see. So anyway, I just feel like this is important to share with y'all. But first, I'm going to read out of the Bible. I'm going to be coming from Romans 8:33 through 39. And I don't judge anybody for their beliefs. I'm a follower of Yahushua, and will continue to be. So here we go. Who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen? Is it God who justifies? Or should I say, is it the Most High who justifies? Who then is the one who condemns? No one. Yahushua, who died, more than that, was raised to life, is at the right hand of the Most High, and is also interceding for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Yahushua? Shall trouble, or hardship, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or danger, or sword? As it is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor demons, nor neither the present, nor the future, nor any powers, neither height, nor depth, nor anything in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of Yahshua HaMashiach, the love of the Most High that is in Yahshua HaMashiach our Lord. And sorry about that. I've started using the correct term I've been starting to use Jesus' real name. That's just a conviction that came over me, and that's what I'm doing. Alright, so here I'm going to play two videos and do commentary on them. Just, you're not going to see the videos, but you're going to hear them. I think this was very important information as I was studying this morning. I'm very leery of popular whistleblowers and all that. However, you can take good information and discern from the bad, and this is good information.
You can find us if we don't have DNA.
Okay.
How is it that you...
So a lot of people's been asking me, how can they find you? What if they haven't got our DNA? How can they find us? Then I'm going to play another video about a very important video to listen to if you're wanting to know about 2030 agenda.
Can find us if we don't have DNA. Well, I don't know. You do realize your heartbeat has a frequency signature that is only yours, right? No. How would they do that? I don't know. Apparently everybody believes it's their phones.
You hear that? Your heartbeat has a frequency signature too that's only yours. Most people have had EKGs. Most people wear wearables. Beware. She's telling the truth. And I know this. You gotta think. I took the battery out of my phone for 30 days straight. The battery never went in my phone. I had no battery in my phone. I fell asleep on a train in Atlanta, woke up in Louisiana, and as soon as I got off the train, about 10 minutes later, was already being harassed, stalked, and they were on me. So, and then I was in Jade Helm in 2015, where they asked over the walkie-talkie my blood pressure, my temperature. The woman told the officer over the walkie-talkie my blood pressure and my temperature over the walkie-talkie. I was not hooked up to nothing, and I really feel like that day in 2015 is when they hooked me up to all this stuff. Needless to say, after they done that, the officer stopped me, searched me, asked my blood pressure and my temperature over the walkie-talkie. She told him. They took me to the hospital and put me in mental health for 2 weeks. After they ran all kinds of psyops on me, V2K, direct energy weapons, first experience. But anyway, all right, let me stop rambling. But it is possible. There's no way I could have been, I tested that, with my phone battery out for 30 days. My phone was never on 30 days before I got on that train. So they were tracking me somehow. So they can track you DNA. They can track you. Your brain lets off a unique neural signature. They can track you by your heart signature. So here we go. Let's listen to the rest of it.
How would they do that? I don't know. Apparently everybody believes it's their phone's heartbeat that we're measuring. You know, your phone has a heartbeat. You didn't know that? Yeah. It's called an algorithm. Because your phone doesn't have a heartbeat. Your phone has an algorithm. Little chipset in your phone isn't going da-dun, 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 with all the vasculature blood flow that makes noise. When your blood flows through your veins, it makes sound. Your ears don't hear it. But there are plenty of other pieces of equipment and sensors that do hear it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go to the next one.
So for those of you lost in the psychological operations and you don't understand how long they've been surveilling you under the skin with the body area network, because for whatever reason that doesn't make sense to you, okay? What I would encourage you to do is listen to these two short clips. The first guy is going to lay out for you why this Real ID bait and switch is ridiculous. And Whitney Webb, like her or not, I don't care. She's laying out very succinctly for everyone the company orientation.
Now, I'm really suspicious about Whitney Webb. However, what you got to understand is, even if these people are spreading false information, they're spreading good information too. That's what they're sent to do. So it's misinformation. It misleads you. But anyway, what I'm saying is you can get good information from people who are even controlled opposition, but you got to be very careful at dissecting that information and taking the good and throwing away the bad. And from what I've seen, Whitney is very good at breaking down companies and corporations and how they work and the history of them.
That is real in cyber, biological security. Here on the channel, we've shown numerous government documentation contracts, all the different ways they watch, with something called the Trillion Sensors Network, which is connected to the Department of Commerce on your cyber physical backbone. Now, those phrases may be completely unfamiliar to you, but to these industries, these companies, and these employees, that's exactly what they're logging into. And see, here's the problem. Your blockchain people lied to you, or themselves, or both. They're not free on Web3 in some rando dimension, playing with their Marvel comic books and their peer-to-peer. Why any of these professional people ever believed that they were free from the national security state and cyber security because their blocks were transparent. I don't know why they believed that. It's not true. It's never been true. There's something called infrastructure, hardware. The way the internet was built and still is running, and I don't mean legacy systems, okay? So, these sensor networks are the Trillion Sensor Network, wireless sensor networks, the Golden Dome, all these wireless sensor networks that are using hybrid.
As we're listening to this, my ears are literally fluttering right now. So the tinnitus just got worse. As we're listening to this, I just want to tell you an example. So both eardrums feel like it's got something against it going, and there's a lot of pressure right now.
Mesh networks, or 802.15.5 mesh networking. They talk to satellites, cell phone towers, human bodies as nodes on the network. What network? Now it's called the DODIN. Previously it was called the Global Information Grid. Previous to that, the Sentient World Simulation. So when you tell people that, oh, we need a real ID, but oh yeah, it's just a minor inconvenience, then we'll get a retinal scan, facial ID, but oh, that's all we're using. No, they've been under the skin with human bodies for cyber, biological, security, with DHS and biosurveillance. They don't share. National security doesn't come out there and tell you what they're doing. like the bombers and the spy planes. One day you'll find out. In the same way, since 2011, they have electronic health records with the W-band blockchain, making big old money on biomedical. What's that? The ability to log into your body with your own cells, under the skin. Welcome to 2012 Medical Body Area Network. They just walk right in. As a doctor or a nurse, they get black box technology, meaning that they get a piece of software on their phone and usually some sort of security device that allows the routing of where all the signal goes to be nice and quiet, only for national security, local security, whatever cyber security. And then they log into human bodies for biological signal data, called biosignal data. Fixed your pacemaker, your insulin pump, medical implant communication system since 1999. Mandated worldwide today with two things: ultra-wideband on human body communication. So if you think the real ID is just a little paperwork inconvenience, they've been at this since 2005. And when we look at the kill box on the global information grid, that would be electronic warfare to target your bioelectricity with your body area network, 2005. That's network-centric warfare, which we're under today. So those of you that still don't understand that you are not decentralized, you are more enmeshed than you've ever been. And those of you that still don't understand, you've been lied to. By who, for what, I don't know. I'm not you. But computer networking, hardware, infrastructure, orientation, NatSec doesn't change because a bunch of people lie about peer-to-peer. The logical link layer, or the MAC IDs, of which there are several that are already connected since 1995, commercially, for companies. Okay? So your Web3 fantasy, where you thought you were all just by yourselves, it's never been built that way. It's never run that way. They had it running before they handed it to you to build with the GitHub, with PhysioNet for HHS. Now, if you're curious about any of that, I have videos on the channel. I have videos on the Rumble. But one thing is for certain. If I were in your shoes at any level, professionally, financially, I would get educated on that body area network, the different companies involved, because just like Whitney explained, with deregulation, that means that the government themselves, they didn't give you a way to go to your doctor or anybody and talk about anything. No, it's
Very important here.
proprietary. That means a company runs it. You ain't suing them or their AI software.
Hold on, it's messing up to where, oh, hold on, maybe this will work.
Is involved because, just like Whitney explained, with deregulation, that means that the government themselves, they didn't give you a way to go to your doctor or anybody and talk about anything. No, it's proprietary. That means a company runs it. You ain't suing them or their
software.
AI software that says you did something wrong. No grounds. Now, if again, these people that have been BSing as long as I've been 3 years now going, why are you lying about this stuff? It's super easy. Why wouldn't you just tell people? Because if people knew that you were already under their skin, they'd probably be pissed off about that. Like the targeted individual community that everybody said doesn't exist, right? Okay, well, we have a different issue with synthetic biology. Whitney mentions mRNA. That's not your biggest problem. If I were you, I'd be looking up human augmentation conferences on the Google or whatever, and I would be checking out 15 years at universities, not in deep underground bases, for something called human augmentation, which is also in the Agenda 2030 goals. That's why all the under-the-skin surveillance for load balancing body area networks. It's not just for pacemakers and the paraplegics. No. Interoperability with brain-computer interface, single brain to another human brain, full duplex, that's 2014. Single human brain to many human brains? Oh, that's 2019. It's time to get caught up on what they're really doing with these body area networks, or your decision making will be flawed because they are not going backwards, they are going forwards with a requirement internationally called human augmentation. You can also find human augmentation at universities like the University of Michigan with their human augmentation projects and many more.
So basically what she's saying is the Centennial World Simulation global information grid is basically old news. You got to remember what Duncan even said it. What we know about, they're 30 years more advanced. And so, all we can do is learn about technology and catch up slowly and learn about it and educate ourselves because, I don't know, me and Holly gave up on trying with the courts, but I'm not saying not to. But from my research, I'm just trying to figure out ways to cope, deal with this, keep my body, keep our bodies grounded, and cope the best way with the attacks as they come.
So that is what, in my opinion, given the different industry, business, and legal architecture that they've been doing, which for reasons none of us on the channel could understand, nobody would talk about, well, they've already augmented. We've read off some places in MDPI Sensor Journal from 2021 in which a multimodal body-machine interface in which a soldier can take a vagal nerve stimulator, so it only works for 7 or 8 hours, and control drones, robot dogs, whatever, with their mind. No chip in their head. Okay? They're using a piece of human anatomy, and they have been this whole time, called the human biofield. It's in my biofield HHS videos. And that's the same human anatomy for next-gen air dominance when you're teaming with the drones.
This is very important information right here, and then the video's over. Please listen to this. She's going to start out, if it's just your nervous system as a backbone.
Just your nervous system as a backbone network for the air or molecular communication to the other little wireless sensor networks and the drones. We have a vagal nerve stimulator with IITSEC, Air Force Research Laboratory, or an ingestible, an edible bioelectronic, like they use for the Abilify pills or endoscopy. And then it takes, just like they're showing in these articles, living tissue and makes it a transistor, makes it communicate to the wireless naturally with your own molecules. See, you could do that naturally if they were not already under your skin, perturbating your cell structure. This was the part of things nobody wanted to hear about. They didn't want to believe that anybody would be bothering their cell structure. Well, now you can purchase it with the HHS wearable or your Fitbit, or you can purchase the ability to be telepathic, brain-to-brain interface with companies. For over 10 years on the Amazon Start My Coffee Pot with My Mind, Fly My Little Hobby Drone with My Mind. Where's everybody been? Arguing about worthless things like Epstein and Diddy? How'd that turn out for you now?
Thanks again for listening, and for entertainment purposes only. And I need to say that in this video. So anyway, I'm going to put a disclaimer at the beginning about entertainment purposes only. Anyway, I'm hoping this helped. Like I said, I'm very, very strapped for time right now. And so I figured I'd put this together for you. I am going to be deciphering the viable information. You gotta take good information from the disinfo, and I'm not sure. I just look for it in everybody now. It's very popular, and it's sad that it's come to that in this information grid. But they're flooding the information. They're flooding the internet with so much disinformation, and making people look here, look there, look here, look there. So you actually got to do your research to make sure you're telling the right stuff. And So anyway, God bless all TIs, SRA survivors, MK Ultra survivors, anybody who's been in a non-consensual experimentee, and I guess I could say everybody who's a node on the network, which would be the whole world. So I guess I'm praying for the whole world. But anyway, God bless y'all. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Please like the video. The more likes, the more people see this. I think it's very important. Wow, B2K just told me, shut up, smiley pants. You see, that's what they do. But we ain't going there today. We got so much stuff to do. We're gonna stay busy, keep the brain busy, and break brain entrainment all day. God bless.